नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बि यस्सिर व ला तुअस्सिर वत्तमिम बिल खैर आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन. In the last video we talked about pronouns. A pronoun in Arabic is called damir. Damir, and plural is damair. It is jama mukassir, plural is damair. Damir literally means conscious, which is something to do with recognition of difference between right and wrong. So what is this to do with that? I really don't know, but this is grammatical term, and in Arabic grammar books pronoun is translated as damir and its plural is damair. So we looked at damair last time. So we've got third person, second person, and first person damair. We have six here, and 2 in the first person, so total of 14. Now this chart, this paradigm, or this sketch, whatever you want to call it, this is very, very important because we are going to conjugate verbs on this pattern as well. So although we have not worked on verbs yet, we are going to start on verbs soon, inshallah. But our conjugation of verbs is going to follow these lines. So it's very important to become familiar with this paradigm. Although we have not really discussed any verb in detail, but we have used a few verbs in our discussions. And the first ever verb which we used was in this sentence. We said Hamid helped Zaid. Hamid helped Zaid. And we translated this as Nasara Hamidun Zaidan. So Nasara is fail. And if we use Nasara on its own, it will mean he helped. Where the he comes from, we are going to know in our future discussions. We're not going to discuss that at this point in time. So, but when we say Nasara Hamidun, Hamidun takes the place of he. So rather than saying he helped, here we say Hamid helped. We can also say boy helped, the boy helped. Nasaral waladu, the boy helped. We can say Nasarallahu, Nasarallahu, Allah helped. So basically whatever follows fail comes as a file, as a subject. So if we, for example, just as an example, conjugate this Nasara and take it through this chart. So Nasara will come here at the place of Huwa. So Nasara will be the first conjugation form of the verb, which will be third person singular masculine, and we go in that direction and follow along. So Nasara will be here. Nasara, Nasara, Nasaru, Nasarat, Nasarata, Nasarna. Nasarta, Nasartuma, Nasartum, Nasarti, Nasartuma, Nasartunna, Nasartu, Nasarna. So our aim today is clearly not to start conjugating verbs because we haven't really worked on the verbs at all. But I wanted to make this point that this chart is very important. And if I take all this out of context here, so we can remove these different dhamir from here. What will be left will be a kind of sketch, uh, something to work on and keep that in our mind. For example, we can say something is going to come here, here, here. So that's wahid, tasniya, jama, singular, dual, plural, and then feminine, here, here. So that's third person. Second person, similarly, wahid, tasniya, jama, that's muzakkar, wahid, tasniya, jama, that's muannas. And the first person, we have I and we. So this is basically our surf. In English, we call this conjugation. Conjugation of a verb, for example. In Arabic, we call this tasrif from surf. So this is basically surf. And this is not nahv. Nahv is when we put different words together to make a sentence. So that's all part of our surf. Those who know Urdu, in Urdu we use a word called gardan. So this surf or conjugation is called gardan in Urdu books. So that's gardan or tasrif or pattern of conjugation. So this pattern is very important. Each form is then called siga. Siga basically means form. Sigatan. There's a few terms to remember. Siga. So siga basically means form. That's one siga. Second siga, we can say siga number 1, siga number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So siga number 14 is mutakallim, which is plural as well as used for dual as well. So that's this paradigm which we are going to use for conjugation of verbs, and in this example here we use this for our dhamir. Let us look at few Quranic examples using different dhamir. So the first one is ana basharon. Ana, I, basharon, human being. So this is Surah Kahf, the last ayah, this is part of the last ayah of Surah Kahf, which is ayah number 110, which basically, this is part of a longer ayah. The ayah, it starts as Kul innama ana basharum mislukum. So if we take this out of context on its own, so this is basically is jumla ismiya. Ana is mubtada because we know mubtada is definite and it comes at the beginning of a sentence. So that is a mubtada and that is definite. All dhamir, they are definite. So mubtada is usually definite. Khabar is usually indefinite. So khabar is basharun. So that's mubtada and khabar we have here. And mubtada and khabar combine to make jumla ismiya khabariya. So basically that is a sentence in an ayah. And when we add innama before this, inna, this means I am a human being. When we add innama, which is usually translated as, it's a good translation as only, or we can say nothing but, that kind of meaning. So when we add inna here, inna ana basharan, so the translation will then be, and the meaning will be, I'm only a human being. Basharum mislukum, like you. So I'm only a human being like you. Huwa aduwan. Huwa aduwan is again part of a bigger ayah, and that is Surah Qasas, ayah number 19. So huwa, which is he, third person singular, And because this is the mean, this is definite. And Atubban is indefinite, khabar. So he is an enemy. So it's part of a bigger ayah, which is فَلَمَّا أَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يَبْتِشَ بِالَّذِي هُوَ عَدُوٌّ لَهُمَا. So that's about Prophet Moses. Uh, then when Moses was about to strike or lay his hands on a man who was an enemy of both of them. So there's huma at the end, both of them. So huwa aduwan is just really like this. It's mubtada, it's covered, and it makes jumla ismiya khabariya. Hiya zalimatun. Now we've got huwa here, which is muzakkar. Hiya is muannas. Both are in third person. Hiya has replaced in the ayah, the word in ayah has been used kariyatun. Kariyatun. A town, a village. So because Kariyatun is muannas, because of this tied up tha, this word is muannas. So in its place, hiya has been used, not huwa. So the ayah is that فَكَأَيِّم مِّن قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا وَهِيَ ظَالِمَةٌ. How many townships teeming with wrongdoings have we utterly destroyed? So hiya replaces qaryatun in the ayah, and because qaryatun is feminine, hiya has been used. And because hiya has been used for a town, for a village, which is an inanimate object. So in English, he and she is replaced by it. He, she. They're both replaced by it for inanimate objects. And it is a neutral gender pronoun in English. So the translation will be not she is wrongdoer, but translation here will be it. So it is a wrongdoer. So this is definite, that is indefinite. This is feminine, that is feminine as well. This is singular, that is singular. And we know that in Jumla Ismiya, Mubtada is always in Rafa, and here this Zamir is in state of Rafa. Zalimatun is khabar also in Rafa on its own right. Mubtada is usually definite, khabar is usually indefinite, and from the jins and other point of view, khabar is going to follow Mubtada. And because here Mubtada is feminine, khabar has to be feminine. So we cannot say hiya zalimun. We'll have to say hiya zalimatun. Zalimun is muzakkar, zalimatun is muannas. Our next example is huma fil ghari. So they both are in the cave. So that's when Prophet sallallahu Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, they left Mecca and they stopped at the cave of Cave Sor. So Huma means they both. So Huma is in our paradigm, Huma is both for Muzakkar as well as for Muannas as a dual. But here the context will tell us that Huma here is actually Muzakkar because two men were in the cave. So Huma fil ghari. So fil ghari is our jar majroor. We have worked on our murakkab jari. So fil ghari. So this is jar, and when we have jar, we will have ism majroor. And jar and majroor combine to make murakkab jari, which would take the place of khabar. So this becomes khabar. Murakkab jari is khabar. And our mubtada is huma. So mubtada and jar majroor become khabar. So they combine to make jumla ismiya khabariya. So huma fil ghari, they are in the cave. Hum fi shakkin, that's Surah Naml, ayah number 66. They are in doubt. This is again part of a longer ayah. Hum here is the mir, which is third person plural masculine. And because this is plural, but here the khabar is kind of plural because khabar is not really a single word. Khabar is again like this murakbe jari. So fi shakkin, jar majroor, and they are also called jar majroor shibu jumla, which means jumla like shibu jumla. You will see that term in grammar books. So are jar majroor. We can say jar majroor shibu jumla khabar jumla like. It's not a complete sentence. It's just a phrase. So jar majroor shibu jumla khabar. Another terminology for you. And here we have our mubtada, which is plural, and jar majroor or khabar. So huma fi shakkin, it's part of a big ayah again. Balid taraka ilmuhum fil akhirati balhum fi shakkim minha balhum minha amun. You can see the translation yourself. That's Surah Naml, ayah number 66. Huwa shairun, he is a poet. So we've got the same huwa here, third person singular. So that's our Zamir, which is Mubtada, Sha'irun, indefinite, and that's our khabar. He is a poet. Because when our Prophet started having this revelation, and it kind of, because it kind of sounded like poetry, um, it's an eloquent, lofty prose which attracts people who hear it, who read it, and it sounded like poetry. So they said, "Oh, he is a poet. He has made it all up himself," kind of thing. So this is part of a big ayah again, which is Surah Anbiya, ayah number 45. Similarly, huwa mubtada sha'irun khabar. He is a poet. Our next example is hum kafiruna. So this Surah Tawbah, ayah number 55. Hum is our Damir here, which is just like this, third person plural and masculine. So third person plural masculine, because this is plural, khabar has to be plural as well. So kafirun is a singular and kafiruna is plural. In Quran it is written like this. You can, outside Quran you can write like this, kafiruna, but in Quran it has to be written like this, kafiruna. So this is definite, that is indefinite. This is not al kafiruna. You know, in that ayah, kul ya, in that surah, kul ya ayyuhal kafirun, al kafirun. So this is not definite, this is indefinite. There's no al there. So kafiruna will be in rafa, and we know that kafirina, nasab and jar. So hum kafiruna, and they are disbelievers. It is again part of a bigger ayah, and the point to make here is that this is plural and khabar is also plural. This is muzakkar and khabar is also muzakkar. So hum kafiruna, they are disbelievers. It's part of a big ayah again. You can look at the ayah yourself and look at the translation as well. we're going to kind of save time here. So these are few examples of these Dhammair from Quran, and they will help you to understand them when you put them in the right context and see how these Dhammair work in a sentence or in a bigger ayah. When we have started analyzing different ayah of Quran, then we will go through the whole ayah, analyze the whole ayah, and see how that sentence then fits in and makes part of the whole ayah. One final point here is that we have seen that these Dhammair, they are written separately in an ayah and in a sentence. They are not joined together with another word, for example. So they're written alone, separate as a standalone kind of ism, and that's why they are called Zamair Munfasila. Zamair Munfasila. Munfasila, it's from Fasila. Those who know Urdu, they know that what Fasila is, which basically means distance between 2 points. So there is a distance between this word and that word. So they're written separately. So they are Dhammair Munfasila because of that. Just in case if you started following a grammar book, you will see this terminology in the grammar book. And because they take the place of Mubtada, and Mubtada is always in Rafa, so they have been considered to be in Rafa. So then the name becomes, because they are in place of Rafa, in the slot of Rafa, so they are marfu. So the full term will be Damair Marfu'a Munfasila. Damair Marfu'a Munfasila. That's the term which we are going to see in different grammar books. Because there is another set of Damair which are written joined to another word, and that word could be harf, it could be fail, it could be an ism. So they are kind of joined with other words, and there's a different terminology to describe them. We are going to kind of look on those Dhammair next time, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك